For some reason, the word appraisal can strike fear in the heart of buyers and sellers alike. That's because it seems like a make or break point in a deal that's completely out of your control. The good news is, they don't have to be. In this video, we'll provide a basic understanding of the appraisal's purpose. I'll show you how to prepare to get a favorable outcome and cover the 3 ways to keep a deal together if an appraisal comes in lower than expected. An appraisal is an opinion of a home's value provided by a neutral third party called an appraiser. Appraisers specialize in making comparable valuations of a home's market price. When lenders provide a loan for a home, they need an appraisal to be equal to or higher than the purchase price. This is because they want to be sure that the home is worth as much or more than the amount that they loan, so they're protected. Most buyers will include appraisal contingencies in their contract. If an appraisal value comes back below the purchase price, buyers can back out. So, it's beneficial for both parties when appraisals support the agreed upon purchase price. How can you help make that happen? Well, appraisers are licensed professionals and are incentivized in some ways to value homes modestly. To appraise a home at a specific value, they need plenty of supporting evidence to justify that price. This is your opportunity to help. Appraisers will compare recently sold homes and assess the condition of the house, but they can't account for all possibilities. If you have information that can help an appraiser add value to your home, make it easy and accessible for them up front. As long as it's accurate, they can include it in their calculations. Repairs, capital improvements, and unique property characteristics can help justify a higher value. But what if an appraisal still comes in below the purchase price? Is the deal dead? No, it doesn't have to be. What this means is that there is a gap between the agreed upon price and the amount of money a lender is willing to loan. There are 3 ways to handle that gap to keep a deal moving forward. 1 is for the seller to lower the price of the home down to the appraisal value. With the appraisal value and the price equal, the sale can move forward if both parties agree. The second is for the buyer to make up the gap between the appraisal and the price in cash. For example, if the appraisal is $10,000 below the purchase price, the buyer could still get a loan equal to the appraisal value. Then they could pay an extra $10,000 out of pocket above their down payment and other closing costs to meet the purchase price. This happens in competitive markets. It's also possible to use a combination of these 2 options. If there's a $10,000 difference between the appraisal and the price, it could be split. A seller could agree to lower the price by $5,000, and a buyer could agree to pay the other $5,000 in cash. If an appraisal comes in low, but the buyer believes the house is worth more than the appraisal value, they also have a 3rd option. They could find a new lender and start the process over. Appraisers are human, and home values are not an exact science. That means different appraisers can provide different opinions of value for the same home. Once a lender has had a property appraised, that same lender cannot have the property appraised a second time to try and get a more favorable outcome. So, if the buyer believes the appraisal is low and should be higher, they can start the process over with a new lender. This would allow a new appraiser to come in, hopefully with a higher opinion of the home's value. This can work, but there are no guarantees. Appraisals exist to protect banks and buyers from overpaying for a house, but home values are not always cut and dry. That's why understanding how appraisals work when buying or selling helps you get a favorable outcome. I hope this video has cleared up the basics of appraisals, and I'll see you next time.